another day. Wow, 2 more days. 2 more days. 2 more days. What's good, everybody? Today is another installment of Monday Mints. And I'm about to bring in the amazing tech team that we have, the PRS family. And we're going to be talking about a few things. We're going to be talking about what's going on in the island, how we're making things happen, and what is the future for Puerto Rico, and just things that we can do in order to be able to soften the impact of any kind of disaster that comes from this, that happens from this point on. And you know, it may take some doing, but we're gonna discuss that when I bring on the team. And let me see if I could bring on somebody right now. Hold on. Of course we will have the usual suspects. First up to bat, the incredible Audrey De Leon, the I Do It All girl. Hey, Audrey.
Hi everybody, ¿qué tal familia? Aquí estamos en Puerto Rico.
I think I should be ready.
Man.
Girl. Is there an echo? Is there someone behind you?
I have Mo. He's about to tune in. He's on.
Okay.
I'm here live in Old San Juan. I hear the rain outside. It's been hot and sunny all week, which is good because it's drying up water where water needs to be dried up, but it's also creating a lot of heat and humidity for people who still have no power, no air conditioning, So, you know, we're in it. We're in hurricane season and we are metiéndole mano. So,
all right, that's what's up. We'll bring in Mo right now because Mo got topics. We got topics to discuss. Oh man, I can't wait to get out there.
I'm so excited for you to come, and I do just want to say this is Monday Mints number 9, and we are holding strong. Last Monday, my power was out, and the only way I could have logged on was using my one extra power battery pack. But I just want to say to everyone who has just flooded us with positive energy, prayers, wishes, donated, shared the link, spread the love. It's making such a huge difference energetically, and it just I feel back up. I feel like there's, you know, that Puerto Rico's not alone in this. And so on behalf of our PRS Fest on the ground, I just want to say thank you to everybody who's pitching in and showing love. And I've been watching the GoFundMe links on, you know, how you can see like what people are donating. But the most moving thing is seeing the messages on the GoFundMe of that people are including with their donations. And it's so, honestly, it's so moving. And just know we're receiving it. Puerto Rico's receiving that love. It's real. It's real, and it's working, and it's moving things. So there's a lot of funky news going around, but just love is stronger and bigger than that. So just want to positive note. And thank everybody for their support so far with the GoFundMe, because it's going to be awesome. So thank you, Legs, and welcome, Mo.
My Colombian brother.
What's up? How are you?
What's up, bro? I'm good. I was at this dance class that Danielle Polanco is doing, and this girl Grisel, who's an amazing, excuse me for not knowing her last name. It's been kind of a whirlwind for me over here, trying to navigate through so many different lanes at the same time. I should have been a woman so I could multitask in a real way. So I came from this class, amazing turnout. And Danielle Polanco, she is can't be in Puerto Rico. She's been anxious to do something and be involved in her way as a dancer, and you know, she's a top tier dancer. Like, we're talking Beyonce, J-Lo, Rihanna. Like, she works with those talents.
Wow.
And yeah, Grisel Ponce. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that. So Grisel Ponce, also an amazing salsera. Um, and they taught, they teach, you know, Grisel already taught a class. Great turnout. We're going to have video of that. Um, and Danielle's currently teaching a Vogue classes, a heels classes, and maybe something else. I'm not sure. And then there's another thing by this guy. Oh God, why can't Nick Storm, a brother from New York who's been in the industry for quite a while, and he has something going on at Bolero, Bowlero, which is a bowling alley and kind of like a sports bar, and they are having another fundraiser at the same time. So there's a lot going on in New York. That's why I'm here in the comfort of my car doing this today, because I have to be, bouncing back and forth. And then I go help Danielle clean up upstairs. Like, we're literally hands-on. Hey, somebody's trying to get my attention about a water opportunity. If you can send me a text, a DM, I'll respond to you, and we can deal with that later on.
Me too. I can facilitate DMs for legs, so you can send me DMs if it has to do with immediate relief support or immediate relief logistics. Please reach out to me. People have been, and it's greatly helpful to take some of the stuff off Legs' plate so that he can maneuver and get those deals done and get those big transactions happening so that we can receive all the resources. So I'm here. You can also DM PRS Fest, but I'm audrey.de.leon, and get help facilitating all of the resources and the questions coming in. And thank you, Mo, for the links, the GoFundMe links, and all of the graphics, because they are helping get the information accurately to people to share and spread around.
Yes. So what are we talking about, Mo?
So today, why don't we go through a little bit of an update of just everything that's been happening? So today is day 8 of the storm, and I think now is a good time to give an opportunity to just talk about some of the things that are happening right now. First, I think it's important to point out the spirit of the community, first of all, has been incredibly resilient in the middle of this challenge. So, we see that, we recognize it, and we are here also to help as much as we can on all different fronts. And what I want to do now is just real quick. So looking at power in Puerto Rico, it looks like there's still about 600,000 people without power right now. That number was much higher a couple of days ago. It was around 800 to 900,000. So another 300,000 people came online, which is great. But there's still a lot of work to do. As the days pass, of course, this sometimes people tune things out. So just to remind people that, we still have a ways to go to get everyone, back to back to power and try to work towards a normal. So that's first in terms of power. But Legs, I know it's been an incredibly busy week for you. These events are. And you've been on the phone and on Zoom calls, on constant. There's the efforts for getting all the different supplies, looking at different categories. We got some great response with the solar lights, so making sure that when people don't have power, we can send them these pieces, these solar powered lights. Also act as a USB charge for phones so that communications can stay on, which is good. But also, I guess you'll be moving towards, in the islands pretty soon, in the next few days. So maybe talk about a little bit about some of the things and some of the other supplies and support from other organizations also, which has been amazing. We've been getting support from all different types of people, from companies. Great response. So I think we just keep going. So why don't we talk a little bit about some of the other things that, you know, and again, I think that during these events also there's a lot of things that we can learn so that we could use that in the future to, you know, minimize and be able to be, you know, again, much more well organized for these type of events. So Legs, so you're going to be heading out there in the next day or two, but I guess before we go, before that is what's happening on Tuesday?
Tuesday, wow, I wish I had notes with me. I can't believe I left my stuff home. On Tuesday,
You have a great event.
we have a fundraiser at Chelsea Music Hall. We have kind of like something for everyone in terms of entertainment. A lot of the DJs from Heavy Hitters are involved. So DJ Nuff, Camilo, you know, on top of other DJs, G Pro, DJ Clue, man, we got Nina Sky performing. We have Nems performing. We have CJ performing, and K7, and then, you know, hosted by Destroy. Of course, myself, I'm putting it on with Puerto Rico Rob, G Pro, Tony Touch, Angel De Leon, and Carlos from Classic Material. We're all coming together, and you know, actually, I want to bring on Tara because I think, and hopefully, she's like in good spirits and ready and camera ready. Tara, let us know if you want to come on. So the thing is, we're having a fundraiser, and we will have like Sentu Figueroa bringing prints of art that would normally cost $500. Yes, Tara, you. And so he's going to be selling those. We'll have PRS Fest shirts. And, you know, we're going to be selling the PRS Fest shirts as something separate, because the sales of the PRS Fest shirts are so that we could sustain ourselves, so that we don't have to touch the GoFundMe money for our personal food, water, things like that. I mean, but of course, if it gets to a point where, you know, it's a little hectic and you know, I don't want people to come out of pocket, because a lot of people who do come out of pocket during situations like this, they tend to put themselves in a really deep hole. And I don't want people to do that. I don't want to do that. I did that before. I lost money doing this. And we have to be real careful, because a lot of times we'll get caught up in our emotions and want to do more and more and more and more and more. And then hold on a second, we're gonna bring Tara in. And you know, we just gotta be careful. So yeah, we have the fundraiser. Then we'll be going out to I'll be going out to Puerto Rico on Wednesday. Okay. And yeah, man, I mean, it's an after work thing tomorrow, $30 to get in. We're gonna have a great time. It goes from 6 to 11. And then after that, Tony Touch has his regular Thought Tuesdays thing, you know. So yeah, we're ready to go.
Okay, dope. All right, so
oh, but you had another question. What has been done?
Yeah. So I mean, I'm keeping track of everything, but I don't know if you want to bring Tara in or if you want to go through.
She's invited. We'll see if she makes it.
Okay, sorry. So yeah, jump into the PRS efforts for the GoFundMe. We've been tracking well. We've been able to, you know, raise a good amount. We still are not at the goal. We just have a little bit more to go.
We have a new goal.
Yeah, a new goal. So that new goal, we still have some to go. So anyone who finds it, you know, that they feel compelled to help, please do so. We greatly appreciate that. I think, yeah, as we move towards this, our goal, making sure that there's a balance between all of the different efforts, and yes, some of the out of pocket that happens.
Yeah.
But we're playing the long game. So make sure that we know that this is not a day or week. This is longer. The impact is much longer. So the more support we have from the community, the better. So let's switch gears and just talk about what PRS is doing. and also a lot of the love. You know, we have to give a very big shout out to everyone who made a video and really brought awareness to PRS's move towards the relief efforts. So, you know, from Fat Joe to Frankie. Why don't you talk a little bit about just some of the support that we've got from that, and then we could talk about what we're doing.
Yeah, well, I've gotten interesting support. I mean, there's the usual suspects who have my back: Russell Peters, Fat Joe, who else? Yeah, Frankie Negron, Huey Dunbar, De Lorenzo, of course, Angel De Leon. We've gotten some support from local news stations, whether it be Hot 97. I'm doing Hot 97 tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. And you know, it's crazy. I pride myself on being on time. Like, I'm that dude who's not late, and I slept through and didn't wake up for the first time. I've never missed an interview in my life, but my mind has been so frazzled and a lot going on at the same time. Yeah, so I missed that, but they're being kind enough to let me do it again tomorrow. Awesome. We have a segment coming out tonight on News 12 at 10 p.m. So support from them, support from Rock the Bells, support from allhiphop.com, Hip Hop DX, the Source magazine, Source Latino. We're getting support from dancers on both coasts. Not only is there a dance thing going on in New York, but there's something going on in LA, and there's multiple things going on. And I think the support that we're getting is a lot from people who have a lot going on in their lives and they can't stop what they're doing because sometimes they're contractually obligated, and you know, there's a lot of repercussion, you know, when you just walk away from a gig and you're an entertainer. So a lot of these people want to be involved, wish they could be on the ground, or maybe being on the ground just isn't their thing, but they want to make sure that they can do their part in order to support our efforts. And of course, we have yourself, Mr. Mo, Mighty Max, Audrey De Leon, Josel, Tennille, and now we have the homie Tara, Boricua in the house.
Pa' que sepan. Pa' que sepan.
So Tara was working with the 86 company, did a collaboration with the 86 company during Hurricane Maria, and she has her own business called Thirsty Magazine. She can explain all of that, but they helped to raise about $15,000 to $17,000 last time and gave it to our GoFundMe for Hurricane Maria. And now I've passed on opportunities for other people to see if, like, see if Tara can create opportunities for, like, the Boys and Girls Club or whoever I can throw in her way. She was kind enough to say, like, hey, if you want to throw something my way, I'll you know, let me know. I got you.
Yeah, and thank you first and foremost to all of us, because la gente ayuda a la gente, el pueblo sale del pueblo, and I think that what we're doing is also critically important, and we need to also address and break down some of the cultural stigmas that we have had, like the idea of not asking for help. You know, when we see, and I'm sure a lot of you have seen memes or signs going around from people from in Puerto Rico that are like, "Sí, estamos bien." And what that means to our people is they're not dying. They maybe have light. You know, they're basically just surviving with whatever dignity they can right now. So whatever we can do to break the stigma of asking for help is a sense of pride and power, and it is not. So we need to divide and conquer, and everything that you are all doing is beautiful. What I'm working on in the hospitality industry, we're working on a fundraiser here in Miami at Grails and Spanglish with some incredible chefs, Chef Jose Mending, celebrated Puerto Rican chef, some incredible chef lineups. We're looking at some musical performances, And we can all do something, like you mentioned about not having to tap into certain resources. Think about our networks. If you don't have, if you have money, great. If you don't, do you have the power to share? The investment does not need to necessarily be financial in this effort. So it's what can you do? Instead of feeling defeated, what can we do? Because we can all do something if we empower ourselves. Can you share a flyer? Can you make a phone call? I think a lot of us have been educated on what is happening right now, currently on La Isla with these a ship that is out there with 300,000 barrels of diesel that is essential to power the big generators. And Legs, we talked about this 3 days ago about like diesel shortages is actually scary, because this is the diesel generators. Half of the island does not have power. These big generators are powered off diesel that are powering hospitals, shelters, food distribution centers, supermarkets, communication towers. This ship is sitting right outside of the south of Puerto Rico that our people cannot access. If you do not have the funds, what can you share? Can you educate yourself? Can you educate someone else? Because I think it tends to feel like we're all screaming, us Puerto Ricans in the diaspora, and we're all screaming and no one's hearing us. But the news coverage already stopped. On the day of Fiona, you had the Queen's death. I mean, it was the Queen. And I think it's not out of a lack of empathy, because if we feel that, we will feel hopeless. It is not for a lack of empathy. It may be a lack of information. A lack of understanding that these are tax-paying. This is not charity. These are tax-paying U.S. citizens that the U.S. government owes them. So the fact that we are here doing GoFundMe, shuffling money around because of the incompetence and the failures and the historical exclusion of what has happened to our people is actually criminal. So, I mean, we can save ourselves. So I think the effort now is for right now, but then we also have to keep it going about strong systemic change on the island.
Now, what are you doing? I don't know if you've had any progress with the Boys and Girls Club. What did you learn about their programs? I know, but maybe you can.
No, so
share.
so the Boys and Girls Club, I mean, it's incredible to think about how, because communication is shoddy there, how information is not getting completely shared. And because, again, of the "tamo bien" mentality, it's not completely getting communicated. So I have connected with certain people in the hospitality industry. I think a lot of people also say, I think we need to also be frank about discussions. There are a lot of people saying, do not support huge foundations like a World Central Kitchen. So what they're trying to do now is connect with needs of local Boys and Girls Clubs with World Central Kitchen to at least feed the kids, because if the kids are okay, it frees up the parents to get back to work, to be helping, to breathe even. So I think it becomes communicating as we can. What can we do? How can we help communicate? Even if it's through connections, let's think about our networks. Look at our Rolodex, hit up those people that you haven't spoken to since high school.
And, and just so people understand what the situation is with the Boys and Girls Club, if a child gets 3 meals a day, and there are families who rely on one of those meals because they are not living in the best financial situation. In a lot of areas of Puerto Rico, that meal has been eliminated because the Boys and Girls Clubs of Puerto Rico have been made pledges for funds to go their way that people and government has reneged on. So their program costs $500,000 a year to feed kids in 13 clubhouses throughout the island of Vieques. And with that program in dire need, that means that those families have that much more impact on their daily lives and stress in terms of, how am I going to feed my child that third meal today? They don't have the money for it. So sometimes, whether it be Look, you don't have to send the money to us. You can send it to the Boys and Girls Clubs. Like for me,
100%.
I'm all about this. If it's gonna come to us, yeah, we'll distribute to farmers, to the Boys and Girls Club, towards the needs of the immediate needs of the people who were completely devastated and lost their homes. But that doesn't mean that I'm not gonna tell you like, yo, like support Mi Patria, support Team Puerto Rico, support those other organizations out there. Like if you see us working with each other, we're co-signing each other. Figure it out, man. It's pretty obvious. I'm sharing it, and I hope I don't confuse people because I'm sharing other people's posts where they're saying donate, and that's not coming to me. Because this ain't just about me, and it ain't just about PRS Fest trying to come to the rescue for everybody. We all have kind of like a specialty that we do, and wherever that money serves, maybe sometimes the money just serves your interest. Say, for instance, Jamie Harper, Harper for Humanity. She is coming along. She'll be there in a few days. She's been working, but I know she loves dogs, and she just all around a great human being. I told her, Jamie, I know you're passionate about the dogs. I'm taking money out of the fund, and you're gonna go help some dogs too. I'm gonna give you a budget for dogs, so that she can do that. Because there's a lot of people who love dogs, so let's hit that lane as well.
I think that's super important. To say that it becomes about the collective, and it is very unfortunate that we are out here, asking for, there's a reason that we keep saying, do not give to the government, do not give to government entities, and to give to grassroots efforts. And Les, I thought what you were doing was a great option. I know it's too late, but maybe there's other options. Spread them. If people maybe feel uncomfortable, giving to a GoFundMe because maybe, they can't write it off on taxes or whatnot, or they may not know where it's going, or they want to see their funds in action. I thought what you did with the lights to say, here's a link where you can get them. You will know exactly where your money is going. There are options out there that fit any budget, any lane. Like say you have a connection to women. I mean, there are organizations out there that are specifically geared towards protecting women, violence against women in times of crisis when they have nowhere to go, and to get themselves out of violent situations that could be potentially dangerous, not even tied to water or lights. Yeah. Pets, the queer community. I think it's, find something that aligns with your heart and make it personal.
Yeah. Mr. Mo?
I can go on about this all day. So, I mean, in my gym outfit.
I mean, I think we should also talk about, and I had this discussion with you, but Mr. Mo, we were talking a while back about, and this is something we really want to make happen in terms of snatching up land, make that land, have it be owned by a group, and that group that is on the same page when it comes to like whether it's a storage facility for supplies for the next disaster, because let's face it, we live within the path of hurricane season. So so if you want to tell people how something like that can come about, and what are the methods you've been thinking about when it comes to like the crypto world, and
Yeah, so I think that, yes, we want to be able to solve problems with the least amount of friction. And sometimes that friction does come from government. So it's really on us. It's on our community. It's on entrepreneurs, small businesses. It's on everything that Tara is sharing. It's our networks. If we can leverage all of our networks collectively, then we can start to move that needle forward. PRS thinking in terms of the future, we do know that climate change is a challenge, an issue for the years to come, and it's going to be important to try to work towards preparing for some of that as well, so that should there be a hurricane, there's at least some infrastructure in place that we can mobilize quickly, the least amount of friction, as fast as possible. There. So we're in the process also of learning that as we go through this crisis as well. So we have to do two things. We have to help on one side, and at the same time, we're taking notes to say, okay, these are the things that we need to do moving forward. Should there be another one? Because that way we're a lot more prepared. We can move much, much, much faster. So I think what we'll do is, as we start unfolding this idea, and some of that can be powered by new technologies like cryptocurrencies that can act as a way to receive funds that are transparent on a blockchain, so you can see what is coming in, and from there it's the allocation of those funds. Where do they go to? The main categories at the moment that we're focused on is the solar lights, which we've been making, we've been sharing that on Instagram and on social media platforms. And that's been great. We've been getting a lot of those, but there's going to be other needs. So the living conditions in some of the homes, like you were sharing, some of the homes are not livable. So that means that people might need to find another place to sleep. So things like tents come into action, and nets, right? So you need nets because as that that flooding, we know that it also produces some other problems and challenges. All of them, all the mosquitoes, all of that stuff. And so the nets, food and food is absolutely, making sure that especially people and children have something to eat. Farm and seed, I think, will be part of the rebuilding efforts. And the last one, Legs, you were very involved in that, making sure that we can rebuild. And being, as self-sustainable as possible. And then also if donations, the continuation of donations, being that you will hear promises from government, but we know, again, there's still just a lot of red tape, and what they promise now might not happen for weeks, sometimes even months. So it's really on the community to really move that forward. So we want to learn as much as possible with these. And Legs, you have a lot of experience with the last hurricane and what you were able to go through. So you have a lot of insight and a lot of wisdom and knowledge on that. And I think we could slowly build, that's part of the core of PRS, the Party with a Purpose. This is the purpose.
Yes.
To make sure that we're taking care our community, go through challenges such as, the Hurricane Fiona. We know that those first few days are really important. So when we don't get the visibility, it just makes it tougher. Yes, you can thank, the Queen and all that, and that's great, bless her soul. But now there's a bigger problem for the people that are here that need help. We really need to just make sure that we can be a voice and an instrument for people who cannot speak at the moment, or maybe, yes, what Taro, you were sharing earlier, people just saying, no, we're okay, we're fine. And the reality is that we're not there yet. You could be fine, but the person right next to you is not. So until, we get a better sense of, like, all the power's back on, all the lights are back on, there's the logistics of bringing supplies in and out, they're getting to people, and making sure, you're on the ground there so you could see everything going on, and making sure that, again, that we always remain in contact with the community. We're transparent with all of the efforts. 100% of the proceeds that come from GoFundMe will go directly to all of the supplies. We simply subsidize a little bit of that just separately with some of the t-shirts, just to keep the equilibrium of all this, because it requires a tremendous amount of time and effort, and we recognize everyone that's contributed their time also. Super important to acknowledge that. So I remain optimistic that we get through this. It's challenging, yes, it's going to be challenging for a little bit, but I believe we push through, and the more that we could do this, I'm also hoping that the more it inspires other organizations or other entrepreneurs or companies that say, yeah, we want to get behind this. We understand that it all begins with the community first. And a big shout out also to Rock the Bells for stepping in also and supporting all the PRS efforts.
Yeah. You know, one thing that I have to bring up, and maybe I don't know if it's on my side over here, but all of the the uh, the writing has stopped scrolling. I don't know why.
No, yeah, I don't see it either. So you think some of the comments have been turned off?
No, it's on, and yeah,
I
I
can
don't
I
know
don't
see,
know.
why.
I can
Maybe
see,
maybe
but
somebody type something just to confirm that it's still live.
Please send us some types. Throw us some hearts. Give us some engagement. Let's go. Wepa, wepa.
Yeah, it's not scrolling up for whatever reason. Anyway, either way, we got enough data. So one of the things I wanted to address is that um, I've I know there are some people who work with me, and then I've heard the first. I've been having to feel the anger of people who are just upset with other people because they feel like, hey, why aren't you doing something? You should be doing something. You say you're this, you say you're that. And for me, it's like, no, you need to forget about that and then focus on the people who are really, really trying to help. And then yeah, and that's it. Because you're not gonna help us if you're arguing with someone else about what they're not doing. Maybe this just isn't for them. Maybe they're not built for this. Maybe they just don't care. I mean, but maybe they're also somebody who actually does something on a regular basis and employs a bunch of Latinos. And maybe just this isn't their thing, like keep it moving.
it's honestly, it really, like, I feel like the best way, you said it earlier, and so did you, Tara, in a way of like the networks of people working together with people. I believe this is a time where that's going to supersede what big corporations, big names, and big government, big anything are going to start to see. Wow, they're actually mobilizing themselves. They're actually unifying and not picking each other apart. Because it really does start with we can't judge each other. We can't be shaming each other. We can't be shaming groups that are making something go forward just because we feel that way. No, if things are getting done and people and food is getting to the hungry, and water to people who haven't had water, right? And power, like solar lights, to people who are currently, I'm at my neighbor's house right now because I still don't have internet. I just barely got water power back. I have damages in my apartment, like, and that, this is real. And Tara, to your point, like, estamos bien, like estamos metiéndole mano, like that's all beautiful and that's resilience, but that just means I'm barely okay. Like, I'm not crying okay, but that doesn't mean I'm okay. It just means I'm and it's been emotional. It's been super emotional.
Yeah,
But
let me just say, Audrey was crying the other day.
oh yeah,
Let it out. We're
super.
passionate people.
It, here's the thing, and I've been here 2 years, and I don't think it's fair to come and enjoy paradise if you're not willing to also get dirty and feel the pain too. But that's not going to be popular. On Monday, the day after the hurricane, Mexico, where I was raised, was hit with a 7.6 earthquake, and then repeated, and then repeated, and then a tsunami warning. So I'm over here in Puerto Rico with no lights and no water, praying for Mexico. Going, okay, we're having stuff happening all over the world right now, because I know there was big hurricanes and stuff going on in parts of Asia, right? And then the UK is going through their tender moment as well. So we got to keep this big heart, the humanitarian spirit, the love conquers all, and the hope in focus. And that's going to be the thing that pulls up the thing that moves the mountains, that right now feels like, oh, this has been here for centuries. Because I talk to my neighbors, I talk to my Uber drivers, I talk to my friends here that are like, oh, this is never going to change. And like, it's never going to change if we say it's never going to change. But we have to start saying we are here for change, and we can work together and see something new happen. Mo, you hit it on the head when you said transparency and authenticity. Like, talking about Monday Mints for you know, since May, we've been doing Monday Mints regularly to feed the community, to bless the community, to educate ourselves on what is happening next. What is the progressive next thing to be helpful and bring hope and change? And now here we are in the middle, putting our feet in our hands exactly where our mouths have been and be like, this is not a metaverse situation today. This is a real life situation right now where I get to go down the street and share avocados with my neighbors because that's what we're doing today, because that's what we have. But hopefully soon in the metaverse, there will be a reflection of the realness that's happening right now, and we'll be able to put into place a new structure for faster relief next time, or a different infrastructure next time, or people will trust each other and care for each other differently next time because the wounds are getting healed, right? I mean, this is breaking us open so we can heal differently if we allow it, if we choose. Si no, pues volvemos a lo mismo. And that's, what can I say?
En verdad.
So that's my hope, that's my prayer, and that's where I say, like, the spiritual aspect of this is real. The love is felt. Like, if I'm telling you, like, my heart broke when I saw, like, someone said, I gave $10. I wish it could be more, but I'm sending bendiciones. And they listed the names of their family they were blessing with their $10. And I was like, oh, I felt it. And that encourages me. And I'm here and I get to do something with those solar lights next week when Legs arrives, you know? So this is part of that. This is what I'm saying. It all counts and it all works. It's all working together if we set our intention for it to go that way. So it's
and the lights that we have at the moment, and those lights are pretty impressive. You know, I did my little post the other day where I was in the dark and I kind of showed people how it changes everything. Sometimes I think I was thinking like maybe we have taken it for granted so hard that people forgot what it is to just be in the dark without a choice, you know? And, you know, we've been fortunate on Luminade. They gave us a really nice deal on some lights, which was really good. And the fact that people have dug into their pockets and had these lights that they paid for arrive at our doorstep is pretty amazing. So we'll be going out there with about 500 solar lights. I mean, if you gave one to each family, we're going to impact 500 families. And that light goes a long way. You know, even if you got to share it, you know, amongst 5 people. You know, we're also providing tents, and Rock the Bells is sending towels and blankets and stuff like that, so I could pass those out. We have access to a decommissioned military truck, transport truck for goods and I guess cargo. So we have that waiting. But the more money we're able to raise through the GoFundMe, the better, because at least when I'm out there, if I feel like we're running low on supplies, I don't have to say, all right, well, I got to go back home now, re-up, and then come back. No, I can order stuff, have it shipped to Puerto Rico, and wait for it right there, and I can order before we run out. So, which is what I'm gonna probably do before I leave. I'll do another order of several hundred more lights, so that as we're doing our work, more stuff is on its way. So we need everybody to keep pushing the GoFundMe. They can do the lights if they want. They will eventually end up in Puerto Rico sooner than later, but it'll be on the next trip. But right now, with the GoFundMe, the way we have things working and the way we have our shipping working, we will get it directly. It only goes to our hands. We don't give anything to any organization. The only organizations that I would give any money to at this point is Visit Rico, because they have the largest database of farmers on the island. They help with brigades. They send brigades of people to different farms, and they'll help them for days. And what the money does is it feeds the workers, but at the same time, like, we can give the farmers a grant as well for seeds. So that's really important. And then there's the Boys and Girls Clubs. But if, you know,
Real quick,
someone else,
I just want to tap into something that I think is important because several of, I think almost all of us have mentioned agriculture, farming. Has it been tackled on this specific conversation, the importance and why we care so much about agriculture and farms in Puerto Rico? Someone want to tackle that one?
well,
Otherwise,
no, I mean, I have a reason why I do it. Let's say, for instance, my pet project is a place called Pura Emuna in Isabela, and that is right in my neighborhood. Me personally, I'm that Puerto Rican who learned how to eat superfoods, kale, bok choy, spinach, all that other stuff. That's because a lot of people in Puerto Rico don't eat healthy greens, and I think that's important. And that particular spot, Pura Muna, is a clean, organic, hydroponic farm. They service 90% of the northwest side of the island with farm-to-table vegetables. And that's the only place that's doing that on the island. So anywhere on the island or on the northwest side of the island that's saying that they have these fresh greens, it's coming from that particular farm. So we saved them during Hurricane Maria, and we're doing it again. And it's not just me, it's other people already there on the ground. I'm going to give them a grant and help them out. And then, Visit Rico will do their thing. And the thing is like, and this also ties in with the Boys and Girls Club. The Boys and Girls Club, they have a program where it's called International Food Month, and they introduce the children in this school that they have. It's a charter school for low-income families, and it's called the Vimenti Project. Within that program, they teach the kids about foods from around the world. They teach them about different vegetables, but it doesn't stop there. They also teach their parents so that it's continued at home. So those things are super important, because if you're looking at one of the things that we're trying to beat down during a situation like this is trying to get insulin for people who are diabetics because of the diets that we grew up on. That has to change.
well, I think, and may I tap in here? Because
Yeah.
I think so. I think it's I think we have to get into to the what and the why and really dig into, because I think we can all talk a lot about feelings, but I think it's very important that we also talk about facts. And we talk about an island that was 100% sustainable in terms of what they were feeding themselves. And now, after Project Bootstrap in the 1950s and 60s, the entire agricultural aspect of the island was pretty much decimated. I work in the hospitality industry. My focus is in the spirits world. On an island that was taken, what happened with even the sugar industry on the island, and we're known as the capital of rum. You do not have sugarcane made on that island, for the capital of rum in the world. So going back to food, I think that the issue, one thing that a lot of us, the people that are intimate with the island, understand how hard, since Hurricane Maria, our people have worked towards, not only, of course, when it comes to diets, and I think we need to be able to hold more than one thing at the same time. We need to hold several truths. So to talk about an island that at one time was 100% sustainable, only about 15% of what is consumed on the island is created or grown on the island. We are talking about some of the highest food costs in the world, and out of U.S. citizens, because of things like the Jones Act. So when we talk about, being able to help the agriculture and the farm, this ties directly into not only things like, superfoods and all that, which is important, again, more than one thing at the same time. We need to talk about the sustainability and the ability for our people to be able to feed our people. So I think that is something that I think, again, thinking about numbers and statistics, 15% of what is consumed on the island, that statistic is mind-blowing, and we have to help these farms get back to getting that number back to that 100%. I will facts all day long. This is and these are, because I think this is how we motivate people, because our feelings, Legs, you brought it up, we, in these times, and Audrey as well, when you in these times, people sometimes want to debate and get angry and point fingers. These become issues where feelings come into play. Once we provide indisputable facts, there's no room for debate. And that's where we open the door for solidarity. So, and this is why it becomes essential that we not only talk about our feelings and tap into that ay bendito, but really discuss our power as not only Boricua, but it is Hispanic. It's not my favorite word, but it's Latin Heritage Month. I think that when we look at as well, not only the solidarity of Boricuas, but the solidarity of Latinos in general. We are nearly 20% of the population in this country. We are talking a voting power that can swing elections as we go into the midterms. So thinking about, Audrey, you said that someone was like, oh, I feel so bad, I only have $10. Thinking about our number, our statistics in solidarity, what we can do as a collective, as not only como Boricua, but as Latinos as a whole in the U.S.
Because it's a mindset shift. It's reforming a whole mindset, and that happens one brain at a time. So when you have new thoughts and new feelings and new facts and new understanding, and it's less of the pointing the fingers and the blame, and more about how can I take accountability and how can I be better, and then work with these movements that are producing the facts and the metrics, right? Mo was working with me earlier this week on getting accurate metrics, because all kinds of information floating around here, all kinds. And it's like, well, nobody wants to be the person then culpable for saying the wrong number, but also it's not that hard. If you arrive here on an airplane at night, you're going to see what parts are lit up and which parts are not. Because there's still not power in most of the island.
I don't have power in my house still. I know that I'm gonna go there and we're gonna work, and I'm gonna be sweating all night, probably gonna barely sleep and get right back to work in the morning. And it's gonna be, I'm good with it. I mentally say, okay, this is what it is. It's just noise to me. Blank it out, keep it moving, and I'll be all right though. But you're right.
Yeah, and I think that's such a beautiful sentiment that you were saying, Audrey, and to find moments of solidarity. I think that, whether it is the Black Lives Matter movement or what's happening in Iran, or, with violence against, anti-Semitism in the US, last year there was this huge wave of anti-Semitism that was decimating, really terrifying the Jewish community. There's all these different pockets of community there was a lot of debate with me today about the comparison of Puerto Rico and Washington, D.C., no taxation without representation. There are moments where we can find solidarity instead of arguing with well, you didn't show up for me, so I'm not going to show up for you. Instead of arguing with them, finding those connections, finding the ways that we can bridge gaps for solidarity in ways to help people, don't without shame. Maybe they don't know, without, making them feel like, okay, well, this doesn't matter because I'm virtue signaling, but to really empower people to show what solidarity means, and to help them be our voice, our stand with us, shoulder to shoulder, whether it's funds, it's spreading the message, it's spreading the word, everything that all you three are doing and our community doing is so beautiful, and so is the work of all of our allies.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Very good. So good. I don't know how much longer, Lex, you want to go. I know we started late that we were all running and doing stuff. We will keep everyone updated through lives, through posts. Again, I just want to say deep thank you, thankful hearts, big gratitude for everybody who's sharing and commenting and liking and just tuning in consciously to what's happening, because I'm telling you, it makes a tangible difference. But please DM the PRS Fest Instagram account. Please, we want to help administrate for Legs so that this is inundation in his inboxes and his DMs, because he can only go as far as he could go, and he is a superhuman. He is a little, so he can backspin a lot of DMs at the same time. But we're here to help, spread that effort. So feel free to reach out to me. Feel free to reach out to the Puerto Rock Steady Instagram or Mr. Mo's. And just keep if you have questions or have resources, have someone, like I had someone reach out to me to get some information to Legs that was extremely helpful, but they couldn't get into him because he's in events back to back to back to back. He's going to this concert tomorrow night fundraising. So just encouraging everybody to just, we're doing our best to hear and listen and organize all of the blessings coming in. We want to stay in receive and absorb mode and not resist anything. And I'll also just go as far as saying, if you have a place to stay here, come here and help. Just come. Like if you have family that lives in Puerto Rico and you're housed in a way where you can pour from a full cup, come and volunteer next week, because some of us have been working 24/7 this last week and we're running a little dry and we're still organizing reinforcements. But if you have people here who you can say, hey, Audrey's organizing the groups that are going out next week, send them our way, because extra hands is a blessing. And if we have these, you know, we might have really cool jobs and missions, and we might have really simple, boring jobs and missions, but everything helps.
Hey, but you know what? I think people have to understand that there are some absolute heartbreaking missions. And, you know, I know a lot of people are very excited about coming to help, but, you know, when you are faced with even just sleeping without, you know, when let's just say you have first world issues, you know, first world problems, coming into a situation like this. Look, there was this time someone came to support. The person flew out, didn't survive 24 hours, and left, because it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
And, you know, maybe give yourself the opportunity to say, hey, I'll try the hard shit, the hard emotional shit that's gonna fuck me up and leave me needing some therapy later on. But if that's too hard, save a spot for me pouring some food for somebody or whatever, you know, in the metropolitan area, because that is also needed. And you know, it's not a vacation going in there. Like, we're gonna be going where bridges are down, and we're gonna have to hike to where we have to go to. I just got a place. It's called today. It's called oh God, White Canyon. How do you say it in Spanish?
Inutuado.
Yes.
Yeah, I just went camping there.
Yeah, we're going there because people don't have access to get back and forth with their vehicles. So we're going
Cañon
up there
Blanco.
with supplies, and we're already planning out, okay, what kind of backpacks we're gonna bring, what kind of footwear we're gonna wear, stuff like that. So, you know, it's sometimes it's dangerous. I mean, I was on one mission where we almost lost somebody because the back of their wheel was hanging off of a bridge, and we all had to use our body weight to level out the vehicle, hoping that it wouldn't go over. And the poor guys that were in the vehicle, I'm hanging off the door, leaning my body back, and I'm looking at these two guys who have never been in that situation before. I know who they are. They grew up in a bubble, and I never had so much compassion.
Oh, just asking
for,
people to come, and he's scaring people now.
No, but it's real.
I'm kidding.
Because the thing is that I've never seen so much fear in those guys' faces. And I called them up a month later, and because I just had this bad feeling. I was like, hey, are you guys all right? How are you doing? They literally told me they were fucked up mentally.
Mm-hmm.
It's real. It's very real. It's not a game. I know everyone wants to be like, me, I want to go, I want to go, I want to help, I want to help. You got to be ready for some harsh realities, because I'm not going to where it's easy. I'm going to where it's hard to get to. So
You know, this is not for photo ops. I think Audrey's call is, you know, like if you can and you're not taking, you know, this is not for photo ops. If you're doing this for a flex and for an Instagram photo, don't go. You know, like you're absolutely right.
Just stay.
And not everyone could do everything, but everyone could do something.
That's right.
I'm gonna tell you right now, some influencers hit me up.
Yeah.
I'm like, nah, no, not at all. Hell no.
Well, I'd like to say one thing, because there are people, if this gets replayed, I think that every influencer that has ever accepted a free trip, a fam trip, or a media trip from a brand or Discover Puerto Rico, if they are not, I'm not going to shame you. I'm going to say, I'm going to let you know that this is your time to use your influence and your platform for Puerto Rico. If you have ever accepted anything on the island, if you have ever said anything like, yo soy Boricua de corazón, you know, if you're like, oh my gosh, I love Puerto Rico. If you have an Instagram post on your feed from Puerto Rico, this is your call to action to make some noise.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, you know what? And the thing is, I may not, and I don't know every influencer out there, but when you hit me up and you don't know me and I see what your page is about, I don't know what you are about, because everything is a morphed picture with a filter, and you've accented whatever your curves. No, I don't care. I don't give a fuck about that. Stay away from me. But if you really want to help, use your platform to help me from a distance to get the work that we can get done with the team on the ground. And then I will praise the hell out of you. I'll like all your pictures as much as you want.
Tagging them all.
You know? So.
Woo! Yeah.
I'm gonna start tagging them all. No, but this becomes, you know, again, we all have, I think, about not shaming, but if we can encourage people to let them know this is not virtue signaling. But again, Discover Puerto Rico, if you've ever, I know a lot of journalists, media people, influencers that have gotten trips from brands on the island, from Discover PR. This is your time, and I'm going to lead with kindness, and it's not I'm not trying to shame anyone. I do think that, you know, maybe they don't know, or they don't think it's their place. It is your place, and now is the time.
It will be life,
you know,
the best, and you can handle it. You can do hard things. So come and be ready to roll up your sleeves, and come ready to give if you're coming. That's all.
Beautiful.
And speaking of rolling up sleeves,
so inspiring.
Speaking of rolling up sleeves, Danielle Polanco is finishing her class right now. I am here to actually help clean the dance studio, so I have to go upstairs. So Mo, you have any final words? She got her bandera. Look at that, and
Como
she got
siempre.
the indigenous blue.
Yeah.
Duh. You gotta have the right blue. You gotta have the right blue.
And shout out to Jamie Harper. She is one of the baddest women on this planet, and she's gonna be out there with me. She's such a warrior. Like, that girl got so much love to give. Her heart and soul is 1,000% on point, and I'm excited to have her work by my side. There's only a few people, male or female, that I will have by my side, and Jamie Harper is one of them.
Nos tenemos.
Yes.
Thank you,
Mo,
everyone.
any last words?
We have Tuesday. We're kicking off the fundraiser event. If you're, please go, please support. It's going to be a great. And then Wednesday, Legs ULand in PR. Our purpose, our mission is kicking off. So again, we want to send a lot of love, a lot of support to the community, to people who may be feeling maybe a little bit down emotionally. You know, we're sending a lot of love. I remain optimistic that we get through that. We're focused. We have a plan. We have a strategy. We have a great group of people. We have a lot of support. But we need to continue that momentum. That momentum should not stop right now. It's very, very important the next couple of weeks that we maintain this momentum. And if you can support it, whether it's in a donation or even if it's a like and share on the post, the shared network effect does have impact. So we'll leave it there, Legs.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Our special guest, Tara.
Está bien, cabrón.
That's right.
Bien, cabrón.
That's right.
Para que sepan. Thank you, everyone. Bye.